one last little thing before I start this next chapter here. I would like to know how many of you fans that are out there that watch this thing or read the thing. And, well, I kind of do have a little bit of request. You see, I'm kind of tired of having this little, doohickey on here that you see here, the Twilight Heart title screen. To be honest, I was hoping to get other pictures to be able to use for the various parts. However, I have had no such luck from either the creator or any of his friends. Therefore, I am actually going to go out and ask you guys if you guys are out here are interested in doing this a wee bit, or I believe what I'm trying to say here is I need pictures and fan submissions and whatnot. If you're willing to have a little bit of free time, I could really use some additional pictures so you're not just looking at this Twilight Heart thing the whole damn time. Now, if you're expecting to get paid for this, forget it. I don't have money. But if you're willing to do something for free in your spare time, I can do that. And of course, you'll get full credit for your images if it's used. So think about that, and let's get started with this nice little chapter here. Twilight Heart, Chapter 5. Showdown of Strength. The pair walked up to the entrance of the large gym that lay before them. The paint seemed to be scratched and beginning to peel, meaning it had been around for quite some time. Aurora looked up, and then back down at her feet and sighed. Zone raised an eyebrow. Is there something wrong? Aurora shook her head. No, just a bit nervous is all, she replied. Zone rolled his eyes and walked on ahead through the doors, leaving Aurora outside, who gave chase immediately after. Ugh, he can be so insensitive sometimes, she thought as she caught up to him. They walked through the large corridor. The walls were lined with many trophies and achievements. Aurora gawked in awe at them, but also felt a bit discouraged. I wonder just how strong Maylene really is, she thought. As they continued, Zone stopped suddenly, causing Aurora to bump into him. Ow, what the? Why'd you stop? She asked, rubbing her head. Zone turned his gaze toward the right. I hear voices, he spoke as he walked on. They continued until they heard a faint voice coming from another room. Left! Right! Left! The two opened the door to find themselves in a large dojo, with many students all practicing fighting techniques with their Pokemon. Before all of them stood a young woman, training with her Lucario. Her hair was a fuchsia pink, with a cured plaster upon her face. She turned around and noticed the two at the door and hopped off her podium and signaled the class to stop. May I help you? She asked. Aurora nodded. We're looking for the leader of this gym for a gym battle, she stated. The woman laughed. Another trainer, then, she laughed. It's been some time. Aurora gave him a confused look. So, wait. Then that means... The woman nodded and did a backflip back onto the podium. I am Maylene, leader of the Veilstone Gym, and I accept your challenge. Aurora smirked. Alright then, I'll give it my all. Cheesiest line ever. Oh! And you, Mario, have been bricked. This battle's about to explode. Both trainers stood at opposite ends of the field. Zone stood in the stands, eyeing the field with his arms folded across his chest. Maylane's students sat beside him and watched their mentor eagerly. The gym battle against the challenger Aurora Fellas from Canalave City and the gym leader Maylene is about to begin, the referee called. As rule state of the Veilstone Gym, we'll use 2 Pokemon each. Is that okay? Maylene asked. Aurora took her stand. That's fine with me, she replied. The referee waved the flags down. Begin! Maylene leapt back and took a Pokeball from her belt and tossed it out to the field. Alright, come on out, Meditite! The ball opened and released as Meditite sat in a meditative pose, watching Aurora cautiously. Meditite, huh? She mumbled as she flipped out her Pokédex. Meditite, the Meditate Pokemon. Meditite meditates to give itself inner strength. It can also survive long periods of famine. Aurora pocketed the Pokédex and reached for her bag and picked out a small Pokeball. Alright then, Staravia, let's do it, she said as she released the bird Pokemon into the stage. Staravia! It cooed as it flapped its wings above. Worst Staravia called ever! And you, Mario, have been starter-bricked! Maylene smirked. Not bad. Now show me what you got. Staravia, start off with wing attack, Aurora shouted. Staravia zoomed up towards it at top speed as its wings began to glow. Teleport, Maylene calmly spoke, as Meditite disappeared from sight. Staravia came to a halt and looked around the room. Meditite reappeared behind it. Cross chop, Maylene called, as Meditite thrusted its arms into Staravia and led back into its meditative position. Staravia, get up, Aurora called, as her Pokemon obeyed and preened itself. Star! It called as it readied itself. It looks like attacks head-on won't work, she thought, as she planned her strategy. Meditite, let's go with another cross chop, Maylene exclaimed, raising a fist. Aurora gasped. Staravia, quick dodge and use gust! Staravia leapt back and took to the air and flapped its wings, creating a powerful gust, trapping Meditite within it. It looked for a way out. Maylene grit her teeth. Meditite, bide! Let's go! Meditite positioned itself and began to glow. It's not attacking. Now's my chance, Aurora grinned. Staravia, tackle it! Full force! Staravia zoomed into Meditite, making direct contact, and continued the tackle, slowly weakening Meditite's defenses. That's quite enough, Meditite, she smiled. Huh? Aurora asked in confusion. Release bite now, Maylene called, as Meditite released all its stored energy, knocking Staravia out of the sky and onto the ground. Staravia! Aurora cried. Staravia is unable to battle! The referee called. Aurora sighed. You did great, Staravia. She recalled it back to its Pokeball. She grit her teeth. Alright, Shinx. Looks like you're up next. Shinx! It cried eagerly as it leapt into this battle, sparking with energy. Zone frowned. Maylene certainly got the upper hand here. That bite may have defeated Staravia, but it's left Meditite quite weak. This could be your chance, if she doesn't screw it up, he thought. Prepare to lose, Shinx growled. I will do no such thing, Meditite retorted. Begin! Meditite, focus punch, Maylene ordered. Counter with spark, Shinx, Aurora called. The two attacks met, creating an explosive cloud of smoke on the field. I can't see a thing, said Shinx, waving its head. Such a shame your mind isn't calm as I, Meditite spoke with the smoke, before leaping out and attempting another cross chop. Shinx leapt up and frowned. We'll see about that. It came down with a quick attack, smashing into Meditite from the side. Meanwhile, Maylene and Aurora stared into the smoke, awaiting the outcome. Eventually it cleared. It was official. Meditite lay on the floor, with Shinx unharmed. Meditite is unable to battle! The referee shouted, as he waved down a flag. Maylene smiled a bit. You did good. You deserve a rest, she recalled it and stood up. I must say, you're proving quite a challenge, Aurora. She smirked and brought out another ball. But now it's time we end this. Riolu, let's wrap this up! She threw the ball out, as the small blue fighting Pokemon erupted from inside. Oh! It cried as it landed and stared down Shinx. You know, as if the Staravia cry was bad enough, now he completely messes up Riolu's. Oh! And now you've been Bowser-bricked! Riolu? Aurora asked as she checked its status.
Riolu, the emanation Pokemon. The aura that emanates from its body intensifies to alert others if it is afraid or sad.
Maylene grinned. Ready to do this, Riolu? Riolu? It called as it got ready to attack. Aurora tossed her hair back over her shoulder. Alright, Shinx, let's do this. Start with a Thunder Fang! Shinx ran in as it surged with electric power and leapt to land a shocking bite. Riolu yelped upon contact and leapt back, clutching its injury, and barked back. Riolu, bulk up! Riolu nodded and began to glow with a light brown aura. Shinx, go for another Thunder Fang, Aurora called. Zone frowned and looked away. She's a fool if she thinks it'll be that easy. As Shinx made contact, Riolu merely kicked back, sending Shinx across the room. What? But how? Aurora gasped. Bulk up not only enhances the attack of a Pokemon, but its defense as well, Maylene smirked. I'm afraid your little attack won't work anymore. Riolu, Sphere! Riolu leapt back and charged a blue ball of energy in its hands as the power slowly increased. Shinx, watch out! If that makes contact, it's all over! Aurora cried desperately. Shinx nodded and stood its ground, slightly nervous. Damn it! Nothing I do will work. My attacks are too weak to even get through, Shinx growled. Don't even think of it. Only Aura can defeat Aura, and you are not of the Aura, Riolu spoke. Shinx gasped. That's it! He readied himself as Riolu shot the ball of Aura at him. Shinx, no! Aura called as she fell to her knees. No! Shinx huffed as it put up a wall of light before it, knocking the energy right back at Riolu. Riolu cringed as it flew back and landed at Mylane's feet, unconscious from the blow. Wait, what just happened? Oh! It's called light screen, you fool! I didn't know light screen did that. Didn't the old show. Aurora stood up in confusion as to what had just happened. I won? She asked, putting a finger to her lip. Mylane recalled Riolu and chuckled lightly. You're more than meets the eye, that's for sure. She walked over to Aurora and held out a closed fist. This is for you, she said, as she opened it, revealing a glittering badge in her palm. Proof of your victory over the Veilstone Gym. The Cobble Badge, she said as she handed it over. Aurora smiled and snatched it from her and held it up high. Yeah, we got our second gym badge, she screamed in delight. That's for breaking me. Mylane smiled at the young trainer's enthusiasm. She then turned her glance to Zone, who was in the stands, and then back to Aurora. Zone cracked a smile. Well, so she actually did win, he mumbled, as he noticed the two running up to him. Zone, did you see me out there? Aurora asked decidedly. Zone nodded. Not bad, for a beginner. Aurora frowned. You're just jealous because I proved you wrong, she huffed. Zone rolled his eyes once more. Say what you will, he spoke, as he stood up and began to walk off out the door. Hey! Where are you going? Get back here! Aurora called as she chased after into the sunset. Shinx hung its head and sighed as it followed after its master. With her team's strength being put to the test, Aurora has been able to conquer Mylane's gym. But what does the future hold for her and Zone? Will Zone be able to figure out his mysterious past? And what will it all mean for her in the long run? You will find out in the next chapter. Chapter 6, Hidden Secrets.